Hello everyone and welcome back to the third month, and it's kind of a milestone for me. I was hoping the tank was looking a little bit better at this point, but still having a lot of issues with the green thread algae, or the green hair algae, however you want to call it. But we're not giving up yet. Like if there's one thing you gotta be with having an aquarium or this hobby is be persistent and don't give up, and patience will pay off in the end. So I'm gonna be patient and like I said, slowly gonna make some small adjustments every few weeks or so and see if it makes a change. And as you could tell from my last video, I added a few amano shrimps and hope they would help out with the control of the thread algae, but unfortunately they haven't been helping as much as I was hoping to. We'll get there eventually. In the meantime though, like I said before, the Neocaridina shrimp, the cherry shrimp, they really like the thread algae. Like, they really sit in between it, especially the babies, and it's almost like a spider web for them. Like when anything comes near, like they feel the vibration and they just hide, and they know when to hide, and it's like perfect. Because maybe it was meant to be for the first few months to have a lot of green thread algae, I suppose, because the shrimp population is already at a point where I feel like nothing is gonna ever have an impact on it anymore. Like, there's so many at this point, and I included some more close-up shots, as you can tell, and as soon as you get close up you can see how many are actually in there. Like in the last 3 months, the 50 I initially put in, like they reproduce so quickly. Like, I have a few other tanks with shrimp in it as well, but like this tank is just ridiculous, like how crazy and how quickly they all reproduced. And like I said, especially with the bigger fish in it, you would expect them to pick them off, but I guess it helps having a lot of the same species of fish, because they keep each other busy and they pick less on the shrimp, I suppose. And it also still helps having a lot of hiding places, because like I said, the green thread algae help, but also just all the rocks and all the other plants and all the cover they have, like, really helps out with the survival rate in the tank so far. And you can see the Otocinclus are still doing well, so I'm really happy about that, because I kept Otocinclus before, and that's 10 years ago with my first blended aquarium. I keep fish for about 20 years, not straight on like every year. Like, I kept big breaks in between, but I kept my first Otocinclus 10 years ago, and I had 3 of them, and unfortunately they didn't do so well. And I've learned that they are group fish, and I treat them like I treated regular algae eaters. So now I got a big group of them, and they seem to be happy. And if you look carefully, you can see what I was talking about earlier, like all the little baby Neocaridina shrimp, like sitting in between the thread algae, and like I said, they really love it. And also in between the moss, and it's another essential thing you gotta have when you want to keep shrimp and want to keep them happy. Like, they love moss and sitting in between that, and even without the thread algae, clearly they would be happy with just having that. And so far I really like the colors they're throwing. I would say more than 75% is like painted red, so really good quality. So I probably won't be do too much culling, because I don't like the idea of it anyway, and I don't have another separate tank yet to put them in, so I'm gonna keep them all in there for now. For maintenance, I did the same as I've been doing since the beginning, which is just a very small water change, only 5%, 10 liters. And I feel like it's still working out for me. I've been testing my waters, and so far none of the parameters got out of control, so that's good. And still pulled out a little bit of the thread algae, because that still has to be done. And what I do every week as well is clean out the little sponge. Like, I got a little sponge in the Eheim pre-filter, like vent, like preventing things getting sucked into the pump. And I gotta clean that like every week, because otherwise it gets clogged with debris, plant matter, fish poop, and other stuff. And the reason why I got a little sponge in there is to prevent shrimp getting sucked in the pump, clearly. And I think it's been working so far. I've opened the pump once and I didn't see any shrimp in there, and there was 1 week where I had like 3 dead shrimp that were stuck in the pre-filter, just 1 week. But like I said, I cleaned every week, and I haven't seen any other shrimp being sucked in there or casualties, so it's working well. When you got up really close, you can tell there's a few little scratches here and there, and these were already present in the tank, as I bought it second hand. And I'm not complaining, because I still got a really good deal on the tank, but especially when you get up close with the camera, you can tell it, and it's unfortunate because this footage would just look a little bit better if it wasn't a scratch just right in the middle of the screen when there. It's one of the amano shrimp, and all 4 of them that I put in there are still present and seem to do really well, so I'm happy they're doing well because, like I said, the Pinocchio shrimp didn't, so I'm glad to see that they're thriving. I did sponge the glass once at the 3rd month because my CO2 bottle ran out, and I got that one from another hobby Aquarius, so it was bound to run out at some point because it wasn't full. And when it ran out, when I got a replacement, the tank was running one day without the CO2, and I got an outbreak of black-beard algae all over the glass, so I sponged it off, making sure it wouldn't get too bad or spread even more. And gladly, since I did that, like, it didn't return as soon as I hooked the CO2 bottle back up, so happy to see that that didn't cause any more severe issues, and making sure I'm gonna be on top of it next time before the bottle runs out, like I really make sure there's a replacement ready to go on or anything else. I'm still really happy that I got these snails, like these mini horned snails. They really stayed on top of all the green dust and all the green spot algae. Like, the rocks never needed a cleaning besides the green thread algae that grows on it clearly, but they don't get covered by anything else, and like I said, really happy about that. I can recommend them to anyone, and if you want to know the Latin name, it should be in the description, and they're really good, and they stay a bit smaller than most of the nerite snails. I still haven't done any big maintenance to the plants besides pulling out some moss here and there, but I haven't done any trimming, and after this 3rd month, like, it's really gonna be time to do some work on that, so I'm gonna focus on doing that the next weeks, and again, still focusing on the thread algae to make sure that's gonna be less as well, but probably gonna remove some moss here and there and make everything look a bit neater, because like I said before, the rocks are getting covered at this point, and I don't want them to fully disappear, and also don't want it to look too messy. I do kind of like the look when, like, some plants mix with each other, and it doesn't give you this idea of, like, all these patches of plants everywhere, like almost a bit unnatural in my opinion. Like, it looks like a garden, and like when it's mixed like this, it looks more natural to me, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of aquascapers have a different opinion about it. They really like having all these sections with one type of plant. And if you're curious how the tank is going to be looking in the future, make sure to subscribe, because no matter what happens to it, I'll be updating. Every time I make changes or things change to it, I'll update it as well, so make sure to follow it if you're interested, and make sure to smash the like button if you made it so far, and I'm sure you like these videos, because it really helps with the algorithm and getting this video out to a bit more people, because again, so far these aquarium videos haven't been that popular yet, and I know this is probably not the most prettiest aquascape on YouTube, but still proud of it and still like doing it and still like sharing it with everyone. And I hope everyone is enjoying the different shots of a bit more close-ups of the tank. I know the previous videos were only a big picture of the tank, and I'm sure when you're a few minutes in it gets a bit boring. So I hope this makes it a bit more enjoyable to watch. And I know I uploaded some close-ups of the tank here and there before in separate videos, but I'm just gonna mesh them all together and make them in one fun video so it doesn't get too separated and too annoying and too dreadful to watch, and hopefully a bit more popular so people actually enjoy it. And if you have an opinion about the tank or the videos, feel free to share it in the comment section below, because I don't mind talking to some people here and there, and if anyone has questions, feel free to put them in the comments as well, because I don't mind answering any questions when it comes to the aquarium, or if you have any other questions to setting up or beginning an aquarium in general. As you can tell, all the fish are still doing very well. I'm really happy with them, and still really happy with the color combination of all the fish. Like, I feel like they really suit each other, and I started noticing now that I got the fish a bit longer, like some of the neon tetras are starting to develop like these white tails, and I think it looks really pretty and comes back into the bloodfin tetras as well. And speaking about the bloodfin tetras, you can see them do it on the background. Like, they continuously eat the duckweed, and I think it's so nice to see, because like it completes the cycle, doesn't it? Because the duckweed is the end result of the ammonia cycle, and if you have some fish or other creatures eating it in there, like it just turns into this endless cycle, and that's what I'm aiming for. Like I love having a small ecosystem where you have to put in as least amount of manual changes to keep everything nicely balanced. And that's what I'm aiming for this tank in the future as well. And so far, in my opinion, the only thing that's still unbalanced is the thread algae. And I know at this point I probably won't get 100% rid of it, but I want to get it back to controllable proportions. And unfortunately, even though most of the fish are doing fine, I'm still having some small issues with the pearl Danios, as I mentioned before in one of my other videos as well. I don't know what keeps causing it, but hopefully it's gonna resolve itself in the future. And if I'm gonna lose more than half, I'm gonna get rid of them and find them a nice home. But like I said, I keep my fingers crossed, and hopefully they're gonna do a little bit better. Like, I still have no idea what could cause it, and the only thing I can imagine still is like they're rubbing themselves on the rocks, or there has to be some parasite. But even though there are some minor setbacks here and there, I'm still very pleased how everything is going so far. Like I mentioned once before, this is the biggest aquascape I've ever set up, and you all gotta learn from your mistakes, and you're bound to make mistakes, so never be afraid to make some. And especially when it comes to this hobby, there's so many things you could do wrong, and like I said in the beginning of the video, you gotta be patient with this and gotta be persistent, and in the end you'll reach the result you're aiming for. I want to thank you all for watching, and as I always say, appreciate nature, and as usual I'll play some of my guitar music as an outro. See you next time.